Shout out my friend for Zion. We headed back to Zion. Wake up, Israel. They lock us in cages, having us work for minimum wages. It's hard to forgive knowing that they slave. My people wake up, it's time to make change. They gunning us down for no reason. They killing us off one at a time. Get deep in the streets, choose a side. I'm an Israelite, I'ma ride for mine. I'm go hard for mine. Till the day I die, I'ma give my. I'ma see how you with all my mind. I'ma keep seeking until I find. Knowing my brother, he a part of me. Knowing the struggle was a part of me. Woke up and found that I'm a king. Yeah, and that day, yeah, I was saying, is Israel a homeborn slave? Is Israel a homeborn slave? Stuck in these curses, chasing these heathens not worth. Losing your soul not worth. Killing your brother not worth. That's what they want you to do. They don't want you to seek out the truth. They don't want you to find out that you is a king. They want you to seek out material things. Yeah. We can't go that way no more. Open your mind, we've been living wrong. Chickens are young, we trying to get home. I was down bad and he put me on. Put me on. Now I know who I am. Now it's on. Come back to the Abba. Come back to the Father. These heathens can't stop us. We live in ourselves. You seek the knowledge, you live well. With the power of Christ, you never gonna fail. They lock us in cages, having us work for minimum wages. It's hard to forgive knowing that they slave. My people wake up, it's time to make change. They gunning us down for no reason. They killing us off one at a time. Get deep in the streets, choose a side. I'm an Israelite, I'ma ride for mine. I'ma go hard for mine. Till the day I die, I'ma give my. I'ma seek how you with all of my mind. I'ma keep seeking until I find. Knowing my brother, he a part of me. Knowing the struggle was a part of me. Woke up and found that I'm a king. Yeah, and that day, yeah, I was set free. Yeah, and that day, yeah, I was set free. They lock us in cages. It's hard to forgive knowing that they slaved us.
Shalom. Of course, I got to do my radio host thing. That was filmed by Zion and Sleepy LaFleur with Homeborn Slave. And my question is, who do you think you are? Nah, his will. What you mean? Who do I think I am? Who do you think you talking to? Well, I know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to a child of the living power, the Most High. But my question still goes back to, who do you think you are? Not today. That question needs to set in our mind more than ever. Now, I know some people might think I'm shooting shots, but I'm not. You might think I got a problem with people self-identifying, but I don't. But my only goal here is to actually get us to see that, hey, we might not be who we think we are. Now I'm finna get into it. But before I do, of course, I want to bring out the scripture. Leviticus 26:33 says, and I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw the sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I've looked up the word scatter, and it means to be divided. Even also, in a latter word, conquered, right? So, I got a question for you once again. Who do you think you are? Now, I got to I'm pretty sure everybody in Israel is familiar with this right here, right? Right. Is everybody familiar with this? Give me a one if you're familiar with this chart right here. Because if you are, then maybe this will like enlighten you on not just who you are, but maybe more like who you might not be. All right. So we have Judah, the American blacks, Benjamin, the West Indian blacks, Levi, the Haitians, Ephraim, Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, the Cubans, Simeon, Dominicans, Zebulon, the Guatemalans and the Panama, the Mayans, Gad, the Native Americans, Reuben, Seminole Indians, Asher, the Colombians or the Uruguay, Issachar, you know, Mexicans or the Aztecs, the Naphtali are the Argentina or the Chavis. But we love to see this one here, right? Judah, American blacks. And everybody speaks upon, you know, everybody speaks about, oh yeah, we was put on ships and we was put into slavery. So I'm Judah. But where did it say Judah only will be put on ships? Who gave us this self entitlement due to one thing that the world seemed to just say, hey, only y'all was put on ships, right? Oh, but we know that the natives are natives because they had Paleo Hebrew writings and they had fringes. But nobody seems to see this in the scripture. We just know that Israel will be put into ships and sold away into slavery, right? Right. So, me personally, I like to do little articles. So, this article that I want to share is called Colonial Enslavement of the Native Americans, included those who surrendered too, right? All right, let me make sure this is showing here for you guys. Okay, so we're good. Let's get into it. All right, so it says, and it's rather lengthy, so even if I skip around a little bit, just bear with me, you know. So it says, a study of Linford D. Fisher, associate professor of history at Brown University. Matter of fact, hold up. Before I keep going on, let me do this. Fair use and make sure that you guys can see it as well. Hopefully that's big enough for y'all. All right, so let's go. A study by Linford D. Fisher, associate professor of history at Brown University, finds that Native Americans, including non-combatants who surrendered during King Philip's War to avoid enslavement, were enslaved at nearly the same rate as captured combatants. Native American slavery is a piece of the history of slavery that has been glossed over, Fisher said. Between 1492 and 1880, between 2 and 5.5 million Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas, in addition to 12.5 African slaves, quote unquote Africans. We are that's elementary to us. While natives have been forced into slavery and servitude as early as 1636, it was not until King Philip's War that natives were enslaved in large numbers. Fisher wrote in the study, the 1675 to 1676 war pitted Native American leader King Philip, also known as Metacom, and his allies against the English colonial settlers. During the war, New England colonies um, routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, and Azores, Spain, and Tangier in North Africa, Fisher said. While Africans who were enslaved did not know where they would be taken, Native Americans understood that they could be sent to Caribbean plantations and face extremely harsh treatment far from their homes and communities. According to the study, fear of this fate spurred some Native Americans to pledge to fight to the death, while others surrendered hoping to avoid being sent overseas, the study found. Now we're going to get back into this article a little bit, right? Just a tad bit. Now, like most of us, we don't like to agree with the history that we don't like to agree with. But did it not say that they were put on ships? So where does that only fit so-called African Americans? Is being Israel not enough for you? There will be a time where the Most High will reveal to us our tribes. And yes, I understand that we have certain personalities of the patriarchs and the forefathers of Israel. But to make a claim that man has told us is kind of bizarre. I want to welcome the brothers and sisters real fast before I keep going. Shalom, Justice Burns, Famous Warrior, peace and blessings. Moving Silence, bless up. Marcus Hussey, Shalom. Jah Son of Yah, peace and blessings. Sister Land Diamond, Shalom. Terrific Tarsha, peace, peace. Michael Watley, peace and blessings. And of course, my 88 Soul, Shalom. And oh yeah, Jesse Rosalis, Shalom. Now, some of y'all might be like, bro, this man, I mean, it doesn't matter. But if we want to get in depth, I mean, look, listen, disclaimer. I'm not against anybody that says that they're Judah or they're Issachar or they're Levi, but I want us to see how close related that we are from each other than we don't seem to see. You see what I'm saying? Once again, Leviticus said he would scatter us among the heathen. He didn't say he would scatter us according to our tribes, did he? No. But we also seen in that article that they were also put on ships. So does that mean the natives were Judah too? Once again, I just, shout out to everybody that has brought out the truth as much as Possible, but hey, it's fair to say we might be going a little overboard, calling ourselves something that we might not be. It's good enough to be Israel. Well, I hope so. And if not, hey, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, we Israel. I'm spoiled. You know what I'm saying? But as for me, I would I would just be happy to find out that I'm a child of the living God. Okay? Now, Deuteronomy 30 and 3 says that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has scattered thee. And guess what? That'll be when we find out who we are. But to just throw stuff out there, I'm going to say this. The heathen, they laugh at us, especially the ones that have information on who we are. They laugh if we say, yeah, well, I'm a Jew. Oh, yeah? Well, how you know that? Oh, because you put on ships. As if this article never existed in history. You see, as if the colonial enslaved to Native Americans themselves didn't take place. Well, if that's not good enough, well, maybe we can listen to a short clip called The Black Legend, Native Americans and Spaniards. Now, tell me this don't sound like Negroes, period, in what they are going to say to us.
Oh, it's time for the new Crash Course teacher, the mystery document? How mysterious. The rules here are simple. I read and attempt to identify the mystery document. If I am right, I do not get shocked by this shock pen, and if I am wrong, I do. Okay, what do we have
Fair
here?
use.
The Indians were totally deprived of their freedom and were put in the harshest, fiercest, most horrible servitude and captivity, which no one who has not seen it can understand. Even beasts enjoy more freedom when they are allowed to graze in the fields, but our Spaniards gave no such opportunity to Indians and truly considered them perpetual slaves. I sometimes came upon dead bodies on my way, and upon others who were grasping and moaning in their death agony, repeating, hungry, hungry. And this was the freedom, the good treatment, and the Christianity the Indians received.
Oh,
Well, that's nice. Okay, so the mystery document is always a primary source, and since the...
hold up. Perpetual slaves? I thought that was only Judah. Anybody ever notice they said they've always told us, oh, well, 10 tribes are lost, but 2 were found. And then we get on documents, we read stuff, and then our mind goes to, wow, they told us a lie, but they told us the truth the whole time. We were here. Well, who are the two? The two main ones that we talk about is Judah and Issachar. As if Judah's the only ones that went into slavery, and Issachar was the only ones that got their land taken. Right? So this man says a name that I want to go to another article afterwards. And I'm gonna jump back and forth from these two articles. And I don't come to me with no, well, what about us? This is us. And maybe most I put on my spirit, one day I might actually show you through studies that the so-called Native Americans looked just like us. I digress.
Writer refers to our Spaniards, I'm going to guess that he or she, probably he, is European, and to Spaniards sympathetic to the Indians, which narrows the list of suspects considerably. So it probably wasn't De Sepulveda, for instance, who argued that the Indians might not even be human. Okay, Stan, I'm actually pretty confident here. I believe it is from...
Oh, hold up. So they didn't just say that to us? Or was that us they were talking about in the first place? Just an impelling idea.
a short account of the destruction of the Indies by Bartolome de las Casas. Oh, dang it! Oh, Stan just told me I have the author right, but the book wrong. It's a history of the Indies. Oh, I hate shocks, both literal and metaphorical. So we focused a lot on the brutality of the Spanish toward the Indians, but at least one Spaniard, de las Casas, recognized that his countrymen were terrible. This realization is a good thing, obviously, but it leads us to one of the big problems when it comes to studying this time and place. The Black Legend is the tale that the Spanish unleashed unspeakable cruelty on the Indians. Now that tale is true, but that idea was used by later settlers, especially the English, to justify their own settlements. Like, part of the reason they needed to expand their empire was to save the Indians from the awful Spanish. But were the English so much better? Yeah, probably not. As we mentioned at the beginning of today's episode, American Indians didn't have writing, so we don't have records of their perspective. Now, some Europeans, like de las Casas, were critical of the Spaniards, but most considered the Indians heathens and implied, or even outright said, that they deserved whatever horrible things befell them. So at the beginning of our series, I want to point out something that we need to remember throughout. One of the great things about American history is that we have a lot of written sources. This is the advantage of the U.S. coming onto the...
Oh, wow. If he ain't told the truth right there. They have so much of our information, but you know, we cool with being Judah. We cool with being Issachar, Levi. We just don't want to be Israel, right? And let the Most High do the rest. See, I'm gonna say something that might make somebody mad, but it seems to me one part of this seems to be that, you know, we know that Emmanuel, you know, YAHAWAH'S, Yeshua, I can go deeper into names, but I won't do that. He was from the tribe of Yehuda, right? So, because of that reason, most of us are like, hey, that's what I am. Did we forget that you have so-called natives and so-called Hispanics and all of the other 12, all the other ones on the 12 charts that got hair like wool and feet like brass as if it was burnt in the furnace? And I think a lot of us kind of just go with, oh, that's me. It's okay. And plus, he was from the tribe of Yehuda. I'm good. Now, it might be a part of part of self entitlement, or it could just be we still listen to what people tell us. Now, the guy said a name, Bartholomew de las Casas, right? Which, I mean, you can tell clear as day that was a Spaniard, not a Hispanic, or what we know as a Hispanic, I should say. but that was an actual Spaniard. The ones that came to these lands, in majority all over the world. Let's not forget, Europe is part of Spain. So if we want to call, you know, the pink people Europeans, which I'm not gonna go there anyway, but then you got to call them Spaniards as well. Like I said, I'm gonna be jumping back and forth from this one to this here, slavery in Latin America, to the other one, right? So this one says slavery in Latin America was an economic and social institution that existed in Latin America from before the colonial era until its legal abolition in the newly independent states during the 19th century. However, it continued illegally in some regions into the 20th century. Slavery in Latin America began in the pre colonial period when indigenous civilizations, including the Maya and Aztec, enslaved captives taken in war. After the conquest of Latin America by the Spanish and Portuguese, over 4 million enslaved Africans were brought to Latin America in the Atlantic slave trade, roughly 3.5 billion of those to Brazil. Okay. Enslavement of the peoples of the Americas. Encomida, I know I'm not saying that right, was a labor system in Spain and its empire. It rewarded invaders with the labor of particular groups of subject people. It was first established in Spain during the Roman period, but was used also following the Christian conquest of Muslim territories. It was applied on a much larger scale during the Spanish colonization of the Americas and the Philippines. Subject peoples were considered vassals of the Spanish monarch. The crown awarded the encomida as a grant to a particular individual. In the conquest era of the 16th century, the grants were considered to be a monopoly on the labor of particular groups of Indians, held in perpetually by the grant holder, called the encomidor, or and his descendants. Now watch this. With the ouster of Christopher Columbus, the Spanish crown sent the royal government Fray Nicolai de Ovando, who established the formal encomida system. In many cases, Native Americans were forced to do hard labor and subjected to extreme punishment and death if they resisted. One conquistador, Bartholomew de las Casas, was sent to the Caribbean to conquer the land in the name of the Spanish crown. He was rewarded an encomida for the effort he gave in honor of the crown, but after years of seeing the poor treatment of indigenous people, he refused to allow such treatment to continue. Las Casas sailed back to Spain, asking King Ferdinand and his wife Isabel to ban indigenous slavery. He bought. Uh, in return, he suggested the use of African slaves for the hard labor of the new farmlands in the Caribbean, as they had been enslaving their own in a continent wide system since 700 AD. Now, I want to show you something. Now, before I even go there, I want you to see the tactics that they pulled. Have you ever heard them say, like, oh, y'all sold your own, but that's why this and this and this? But they already had this plan to make us all against each other anyway. They used us. Okay, look, if you don't subject to what we want, we gonna kill you. But if you subject to it, we gonna bring your people and you gonna do what we want you to do to them. Basically, make you less than your brother instead of equal as we're supposed to be. Some people may not like this, but hey, I'm not telling you to, you know, unsubscribe to what you call yourself. But hey, I'm perfectly fine with being an Israelite. I don't want to bear false witness on my own name. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, Famous Warrior said, I met a brother a few months ago who found out he was an American Indian. Actually showed me his documents. He looked just as Negro as myself. Guess what? They called us all Negroes. Ain't nothing different. Only thing different is nothing. That's the only thing that's different. We all may belong to different tribes, but we're Israel. That's it. And I would say big con, Justice. A lot of us are what you would call American Indian, low key. And that's, man. That might be a little far fetched for some people, but hey, it is what it is. I want to say this. Think about it like this, family. If we call the Native Americans that were here or that are still here, if we call them the tribe of Gad, but they were part of Israel, why do we think they looked any different than us? They didn't speak Spanish. They, you know, they spoke Hebrew. They didn't look any different. All of the certain looks and stuff come from the conquistadors, which means conquer, mixing their blood with our women and killing off the men. That's all that was. And then, of course, what they do is give those statistical attributes. Well, Guatemalans, they hate Mexicans, right? Don't ever call a Guatemalan a Mexican. Why not? Oh, well, it's disrespectful. They're not the same. Yes, they are. Oh, don't call a Jamaican, don't call him an African American. Don't call him a Negro. Why? They're not the same, but yes, they are. You know, and all of this is meant for confusion, you know, confusion and doubt. That's all. And people might say, well, I know who I am. I ain't got to listen to what you saying. I ain't say you did. But if you claim that you got all the answers and that you know this what tribe you from, then all thing I would say to you is this right here. Isaiah 50:1. Thus says the Lord, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom I have put away? Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you? Behold, for your iniquities have you sold yourselves, and for your transgressions is your mother put away. Who is our mother? Didn't they call Jerusalem our mother? Didn't they call Israel our father? Right? So once again, where is the bill? Where is the proof that you are from the tribe of Judah? if I'm showing you right here that not just the so-called African Americans were put into slave ships, the Native Americans, the so-called Afro-Brazilians, the so-called Afro-Latinos, the so-called Jamaicans, Haitians, all of them was on the same curse. That right there itself was a sign. But where is the proof that you are from the tribe of Issachar? Where is the proof that you are Ephraim? Well, studying which can show us, what kingdom we might be from. But to just go straight off and say, look, this is where I am. Why? Because, we was put on slave ships and that fit us. That fit all of Israel. And once again, I'm not saying that, you going off or you going to hell, you bringing people lives if you say, hey, I'm from the tribe of Judah. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying we should be careful on what we saying. I am saying that if we be satisfied with, oh, this is, they said the 12 tribe chart said this, well, that's what I am. That could put you in a destitute of learning and shut you out from everything that you should be learning. Shalom, Leon. Justin, y'all said, I'm watching the episode of the X Files right now, and bruh just said, whoever can delete the past, delete or hold the past can control the future. See? Man, wow. You know, I don't mean to be controversial, but I want our people to actually, think about this stuff. Don't just be comfortable with, you know, what they got, what they doing. And look, check this out. Have anybody ever wondered this for, my so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters, right? Have you ever wondered why majority of us, of the Hispanic um, culture, are Catholics? Let me show you why. All right, here we go. Slavery and the Catholic Church. Now, before I even go on with this, I just want to throw a disclaimer out there too. I personally look at Hispanics and the ones that they call are the only Native Americans, and y'all look like just alike to me. Some are darker, but just like some Native Americans that they say are the only Native Americans are dark, some are light. So anyway, slavery in the Catholic Church. Slavery was a part of the indigenous cultures much before the landfall of the Europeans in America. After the Europeans made landfall in America in 1492, Ferdinand and Isabella saw that if Spain did not receive from the Pope in regard to the American Indies, which, never mind, I ain't gonna go there, the same authority and permissions that Portugal had received in the regard of West Africa, then Spain would be at a disadvantage in making use of their newly discovered territories. Accordingly, Pope Alexander the Fifth, I think, was approached, and already on May 3rd, 1493, he issued two bulls on the same day, in both of which he extended the identical favors, permissions, and etc. granted to the monarchy of Portugal in respect of West Africa to the monarchy of Spain in respect of America, and do and to reduce their persons into perpetual slavery wherever they may be. Although the church was excited by the potential for hold on, let me make sure y'all see this. Okay, yeah, all right. Salakia. All right. Um, where was I at? Okay. Although the church was excited by the potential for huge numbers of conversions in the New World, quote unquote, the clergy sent there were often horrified by the methods used by the conquerors, and tensions between church and state in the new lands grew rapidly. The Incomita system of forced or tenured labor began in 1503, often amounted to slavery, though it was not full chattel slavery. The Leyes de Burgos, or laws of Burgos, were issued by Ferdinand II, a Catholic, on December 27th, forced Indian labor. During the reign of Charles the Fifth, I keep I said fifth twice, one of them fifth, one of them sixth, the reformers gained steam with the Spanish missionary Bartolomé de las Casas as a notable leading advocate. His goal was the abolition of the Encomida system, which forced the Indians to abandon their previous lifestyle and destroyed their culture. This active role in the reform movement earned Las Casas the nickname Defender of the Indians. He was able to influence the king, and the fruit of the reformers' labor was the indigenous resistance, for example, the Mixton War and the Chichimeca War of 1550, in the full enslavement of thousands of captives. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something. Okay, I want to bring something to everybody's attention, right? So, shalom, Rollo and Gerardo, peace and blessings, y'all. So, check this out. Is it hard to understand that this whole time, of course, we know that the Catholic Church has been into this deeply, but clear as day, we see, oops, wrong one. Clear as day, we see that it went from Indies, which, if you look on the 12 chart, the 12 chart, the 12 tribes chart, they say that you got Indians, Seminole Indians, right? But it's as if they try to make it seem like the Incas don't exist no more, the Aztecs don't exist no more. But you look on the 12 tribes of Israel chart, you see Colombia's Colombians, Asher, Mexicans, Issachar, West Indian blacks, Puerto Ricans that look, guess who they look like? So-called Hispanics. Cubans, who they look like? So-called Hispanics. Dominicans, they even look like them. Guatemalans, natives look like Hispanic. You see what I'm saying? It's all a mixture. And this is why I'm saying, bruh, we can't just pick a tribe. It's good, and is it not good enough that we Israel? What? We ain't Israel enough for y'all? Is that what it is? Shoot, Job was from the tribe of Issachar. He was a perfect man. The Messiah was from Judah. He was a perfect man. We at least had one of the patriarchs in each tribe that was at least a perfect man. Why do we need to listen to people saying, "Oh, this is the 12 tribe chart. You was put on ships? Oh, okay. Well, you okay, well, you Judah. Well, I guess that makes Mexicans Judah. I guess that makes the Haitians Judah. All of them, because we always put on ships. Just something to think about. How deep is Psalms 83? How deep is it? Just like Isaiah said, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement? Where is the proof when the Most High had taken us, put his face against us? Where is the proof that he was like, this one curse gonna show you that you're Judah, or that now we have attributes that may point us to it, but hey, that's it. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna show you a promise the Most High has already given us. So, Khan, Leon, the 12 tribe chart off family. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Khan. That's what I'm saying, 88. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with being Israel. Y'all can have the semantics and everything else. Most High figure it all out when we get to the kingdom. You know? Amos, or as some people like to say, Amos. Chapter 8, or chapter 9. Salakia for that. Verse 8. Behold, the eyes of Yah, the Most High, are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Most High. He said he won't utterly destroy it. That's a promise, right? He hasn't destroyed it. But as long as ain't nobody realize, like, okay, majority that's in the Americas, or this America here, blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, right? We're not worried about no other tribes. Something's off there. It says, Zephaniah 2:1 says what? Gather yourself, O nation not desired. Not gather yourself, O three tribes that are not desired. And we wonder why. Have anybody ever had this thought, like, once this truth hits the world, how will the other tribes feel about it? Feel about us? You see what I'm saying? For real. They're gonna be like, well, y'all wasn't talking about us while we was over here in these countries over here bringing this truth out. We act like only so-called African Americans, Native Americans, and Hispanics are scattered around the world. If you want to say that, that's cool, but we got to pick which one it is. None of us are better than each other. You talking about equal? We are the only ones that are equal to each other. The Most High made us in His image, not the heathen. We're not equal to the heathen. We are equal to each other. Each tribe was given a certain blessing. Each tribe was given a certain attribute. But that does not mean because you decide I'm from the tribe of Judah that you are someone special, more special than Reuben. You see what I'm saying? Mashallah says we can actually look at Genesis 49 and tell us who we are. Well, attributes, but hey, all Israel has attributes of one another. Matter of fact, let's pull up Genesis 49. Okay. Oh, shoot, here I go. I did some, I don't know what I'm doing. Leon, throw it in the chat for me, bro, please. I'm gonna mess up something. Famous Warrior says, Yashua is great with me. I'm not really worried about the tribe until the Most High let me know where I sit. That's it right there. Okay. Leon said, okay, honest question. How can you tell Levi and Simeon apart when they are described the same? Ooh, Khan. Yeah, that's where I'm getting at. Well, once again, us as Israel, we have the same, we got a lot of the same traits. You know what I'm saying? And that's what sets us apart from everyone else. But you can't just be like, I'm Judah just because you want to be Judah. Look, this is where I'm trying to get at with everybody, right? This is what I'm trying to get at. Judah was not the only tribe that was put on ships and their land taken. Now, if anybody hasn't seen the whole live, maybe you need to go back and read and listen to the article that specifically states that natives that were in this land was also taken on ships and put somewhere else, from Barbados to Jamaica, all of them. You see, Con, exactly. We're all one nation, all one nation. So let's see. Now, where was this at? Oops, here I go messing up. Okay, so let's go to 20th century real fast. No matter of fact, we're gonna go here. I'm gonna start off where I left off at, right? And I left off at I believe. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Give me a minute, sec, family. Um, Now, to anybody in chat, like I said, I know some people gonna feel some type of way about this, and I'm just gonna say it. You could pull up any scripture. It's not gonna tell you what tribe you from. You got attributes, but all Israel has attributes of the same. Israel was taken on ships. All of Israel was, just not the so-called black African or so-called African Americans. That does not make them the Jews. We don't know who we are. Why I kind of tend to lean towards that's why Most High says, "I'm gonna give you a name that you ain't even know." See, you see, the Most High is not just limited to one people being who they said is, just because history didn't tell the whole truth about their cousins being in the same curses as they were. Okay, so it says, while Africans who were enslaved did not know where they would be taken, Native Americans understood that they could be sent to Caribbean plantations, face extremely harsh treatment far from their homes and communities, according to the study. Fear of this fate spurred some Native Americans to pledge to fight to the death, while others surrendered, hoping to avoid being sent overseas, the study found. Now, here's an attribute right here of the Haitians and so called Native Americans. Why shall we have peace to be made slaves? Indian surrenderers during and after King Philip's War. Don't that sound like the Haitians? Didn't the Haitians go to war with the French? You see? Let me look at these comments real fast. I don't want anybody to, like I said, man, this is something for people to think about. You know, I wish I had a Bible app of the Apocrypha. I might have to talk to Brother Leon about that. Second Esdras 13:40 through 48. Okay, Leon says, I understand that, but if that's the case, since they have the same description, how can Simeon call himself Simeon if Levi is described just like, yeah, Khan. Okay, Charlotte says, I agree we are all Israel, and I agree our Father bless us to identify ourselves. To each his own. To each his own. All I'm saying is we set apart. As long as you follow these commandments, that's on you. If you want to be Judah, you could be Judah. But as far as me and my house, we Israel. That's it. I'm not finna tell the Most High what I want to be. You know, and this will show you, you know, you do your history when a lot of so-called African Americans will run away from the plantations, especially the ones that was closer to Mexico. The Hispanics will actually let them in, like, you my brother, you're my cousin. You know, there's so many statues and stuff like that that have Negroid features, but when you look at modern Hispanic, they don't look anything like them. Why? Because of what the enemy did. They tried to wash our DNA out by pillaging, raping, and murdering us. You know, so just for a record, don't go back to nobody else like, oh, his will is real, talking about we ain't Judah. I ain't say we ain't nothing. I said we Israel. That's all I said. And we should take consideration of when we tell people we know the truth of who we are, do we really? Or are we just gurgitating what certain programs of people have told us according to a chart that I don't even think was made by one of our own? Yeah. Now, check this out. Where is it at? I believe this is right here. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Colonial motivations, Native American responses. New Englanders' motivation for enslaving Native Americans included making money and clearing land for colonists to claim. So, in order for that to happen, what had to happen to those Native Americans? What we already read. A lot of them was sent away. Either you was gonna be sent away, or run away, or get be a slave. Because a lot of them was, you know, really fighting against them. It was also easier to remove Native Americans from the region than to sell them locally. It was easier to remove Native Americans from the region than to sell them locally and risk having the Native Americans run away to find refuge. Fisher also argues that there was an ideological component to enslaving Native Americans. Among colonists, there was a presumption involving the innate inferiority of natives. That sounds like the same thing they did to us. There were proto-racial notions of European superiority plus an appetite for land, he said. If you look at the history of the colonies, slavery happens almost right away. Fisher said he is increasingly convinced that for colonists, slavery was a normal part of their mental framework. Some free Native Americans working with the English tried to influence their Native American surrenderers would be settled and how they would be treated. Fisher wrote, like Yuncas, the Shakim of the Mohegans in Connecticut. Yuncas, who fought on the side of the English, seemed determined post war to keep Indians out of English households, and even more important, off of English merchant ships that threatened to take them to the Caribbean. To take them to the Caribbean. You know, this is just like I said. I don't do. Y'all can do what y'all want to do, but I mean, if you ain't just satisfied with being Israel, go do some studying there and find out who you is. And don't try to talk about no, oh, I got my DNA thing. Hey, man, that was made up by them too half the time, the heathen. Okay, Leon brought out second Esdras 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea, the king whom Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Hey, no, it's good, Up. It's all good. It's all good, Up. But hey, look, you see, I mean, this ain't nothing new. They've been doing this for centuries. They've been doing this since what? Second Kings? It wasn't nothing new. But our people, they want to they don't want to be who they are. They want to be, and I'm not, and Marshala, I'm not talking about you, okay, or anybody that don't agree. But we don't want to look deeper into what is being told to us. You see what I'm saying? That's all. That's all I'm trying to get at. Who do you think you are? That's the title. You see what I'm saying? That's the title. Who do you think you are? Now, I want to bring out Psalms real fast. Psalms 107, I believe. And thank you for your thank you for your input too. You know what I'm saying? Because we are Israel at the end of the day. That's it. Period. I just want to wake my people up, and maybe they can see it in a another light. Okay, so Psalms 107, 1 through 4 says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, whom he hath redeemed from the hand of the enemy, and gathered them out of the lands, from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell in. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way." That means they moved around. They moved around in what's the word I'm looking for? It says solitary. That means alone. You see what I'm saying? And okay, hold on. That scripture right there, it says from, it don't say from the east and to the west, and then it just stopped there. He said we had no place to dwell. We had no city to dwell within. You know what that means? I mean, we were wandering, and you know how Israel gets. Some is remember in Genesis when Lot and Abraham, they kind of had that they crew, they had their little quarrels. What did he say? Let you go your way, and I go on. And he even told him, you pick which way you want to go. Hey, look, that's Israel right there scattering, and don't mean all of them was uh one tribe. You see what I'm saying? Marcella says it's important for the women of Israel to know, because we women can't marry, just can't we can't marry anyone. I'm not trying to stop nothing. We Israel, period. But the women of Israel need to know, so we don't marry outside of our people. That's all. Yeah, and that's a very good point. Khan, famous warrior. Even Adam wondered why. I mean, I don't know if nobody ever heard of it, but these people call us wanderers. It's in our DNA. I catch myself a lot of times just pacing and be like, "Oh, that's that Israelite. That's that Israelite DNA in me." And Marcella, you right, but if I mean, hey, whoa, I'm gonna tell you something. It's some dark Edomites out here. So just cause a dark skinned brother say I'm Judah, don't mean he Judah. But hey, just like you said, I mean, this is the same reason I'm bringing this out, so we can have discernment on who is who, not just because they said, oh, okay, well, you light skinned, and you got a Hispanic accent, or you Issachar. No, it don't work like that. Once again, all of Israel was scattered. All of Israel was put on slave ships and sent across sea. Hey, even all of Israel land was taken. You see what I'm saying? That's it, period. Shalom, Shael. So yeah, once again, all of them was put on slave ships. All of Israel was put on slave ships. All of Israel ain't Judah. Just cause you black don't mean you Judah. Just cause they called you black don't mean you Judah. Just because they called you Hispanic don't mean you Issachar. Just cause they call you a Haitian don't mean that you from the tribe of Levi. Who told you that? You are Israel. The Most High, if anybody can pull up a scripture that say, the tribe of Judah gonna be called niggas. Now, if you really want to be technical, I mean, hey, this I'm this me. So it's like this. Didn't they call Paul? Didn't they say? Well, they try to say Niger, but we know that mean nigger, right? But what did Paul say? I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. There go your Negro, there go your niggas, there go your niggers, there go your Nagas, there go your Nagus, there go your Nagas, there go right there. And if I can, maybe, hopefully, I can go. Maybe I can find this where it's it actually stated that in one of these articles I got. Hopefully, I can find it for your family real fast. It actually talks about how they actually was called the so-called Native Americans Negroes. I'm gonna say this. I personally am on the verge of we are the natives that they speak of. Now, look, I don't want to. I'm not here to. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to uh, convert somebody to think otherwise. But I've done my studying. I've seen historic pictures of so-called natives, and they didn't look anything like what the natives look now. I've done my history on what they call so-called Hispanics, and they don't look anything how they look now. They all were dark-skinned, copper-colored, indigenous men and women like us, of all ethnics. What do you think? We think it's just talk about painting the face of us just in Maccabean times. It go even deeper. They doing it today. Why do you think it's so much uh, multi race uh, relationships going on? They still trying to wipe us out. They trying to get it to where even a Israelite a man that has Israelite DNA looks like he the enemy. Um, natives. You see, I could tell now. I might even have to do a part two on this. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, you know, just something to think about, man. Family. You know what I'm saying? That's it. So, with that being said, I mean, y'all kind of know how y'all know what I'm here for. I'm just here to impel your mind and impel your thoughts a little bit. You know, shout out to the chat and kind justice. Let's not forget these ethnicities were given to us by the enemy. We are all Israel. We are all Israel. Every bit of one of us. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I read about that. I read, I read about that famous warrior. Hey, what up, fofo? Big Lulu. Shalom, big cuz. Shalom, big bro. Yeah, so it's something very pivotal to think about, man. Hey, you know what? Y'all do something for me. Everybody, shout out to my big cousin Luke, man. All praise to the Most High. You here? All praises, all praises, all praises. Y'all get my family some love. All praises. This is good right here. Not too many of us can be like, hey, my family waking up. Kind of got you up. Yeah, man. So of course, I know I probably made some people mad. Hey, I know I probably hope some people up. But hey, I still love my family. I love y'all. I love y'all. I want everybody to, you know, just open up and really see that, the biggest thing is following the laws. The biggest thing is following the commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. Look at the love. All praise to the Most High. So let me see. I know I got a cut. I know I got at least. Well, I got some more scriptures, don't I? Let's see. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Let's bring this out. Let's bring this out. Oh, that was it. Actually, I think I messed up when I tried to pull up the other scripture. But anyway, you know, as always, I know it's been a long time, family, but hey, this is your brother, his will. I pray the Most High blesses you and keep you in perfect peace. This is your brother, his will, with another impelling idea. Shalom. Nah, 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 nah. Hold up. I ain't going out like that. Anybody got any impelling ideas? Y'all know how I can't just let y'all go like that, man. Anybody got any impelling ideas? Some things they might want to speak on. Any questions? And if not, hey, I will sign out. But before I sign out, I want to shout out to the chat real fast. Once again, who we at up in this thing? There's Justice Burns. Shout out Famous Warrior. Moving Silence. Marcus Hussey. Jocelyn Yah. Land Diamond. Terrific Tarsha. Michael Watley. 88 Soul. Jesse Rosales. I think I got that right this time. All praise to the Most High. Of course, my aunt, Brother Leon, Gerardo, Rollo on the Seven Talk, another one of the ox. Y'all all my ox, by the way. And my aquas. Sister Marshala, Terrific Tarsha, Moving Silence. All praise to the Most High. And of course, who else we got? Who else we got up in here? And of course, my cousin Lou. Oh, yeah. Nope. Hold up. My sister Cheyenne and Lou. So, I don't know if I've seen anybody with anything. And if not, okay. Okay. We got some scripture. Okay, then. So, we got Ezekiel 4. The Most High. In Ezekiel 4, the Most High describes what would happen to Levi. Could we use that to identify them? Hey, I understand what you said, sis. I do. But hey, same thing that happened to Levi, so-called Levi, same things, certain things happen to who they think is Gad. The curses didn't have I don't I haven't seen nowhere in the scripture where the curses have any favoritism. I mean what? I mean they did revolt. I can give you that much. You know. I mean, but hey, Genesis 3:22, Brother Leon brought out, and the Lord Most High, even and the Lord Yah shall behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Okay, hold on. So he says, why we only talk about the tree of knowledge when there was a tree of life in the garden too? Good. That's a good one. That is a good question. Um, well, I think us as mortal beings, I kind of think that's all we worried about. We worried about knowledge more than the life, and that's spiritually. I that's how I see it. Anybody else might look at it another way, but I look at it as we as so-called human beings, we we want the knowledge more than we want to live the lifestyle that the Most High want us to live, which is symbolic to always talk about the tree of knowledge, but not the tree of life. Nobody, I don't think a lot of people don't want to eat off the tree of life. They want the tree of knowledge. They just want to eat. You want to read, but don't want to live the life. That's it. That's me personally. I mean, listen, that's just me. That's brother Leon with a pivotal topic, so y'all know how that gonna go. Appreciate it. Moving silence. Make sure y'all go and check out Shofar Radio. The link is in the description. Do not miss it. We gonna have a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna start back with my midnight messages. Try to get the midday messages going as well, so y'all get some edification that you not gonna hear your regular Israelites speak on. So yeah, 88. So saying, who said these were bearing apples to? How they know it was even? Come on, man. Hey, that's because they listen to everybody else. I mean, it's like, bro, man. Yeah, never mind. So say, Con, where they get apples from? For real. See, right there. Explain how Satan is not in charge in hell, please. Man, why did I even do this? Why did I even tell the chat to even go on like this? I thought I would learn from Leon. Okay, so somebody, no, hold on, no, no, for real though. How? No, this is a good one. Explain how Satan is not in charge of hell. If he run it, look, um, he was the first resider of hell. How can he not run it? Famous word, talking about some. Are you sure it wasn't oranges? Oh man, y'all is crazy. But I mean, these are questions that little questions like that can wake us up for real. Like, who in the world said it was an apple? First of all, who said it was like? Hold on, cause see now this is the type of stuff we really gotta ask ourselves. Like, bro, and then why would you believe that? Now, after somebody says, "Oh, they ate from they ate some fruit," and then you look in the scriptures, and apple ain't in there. I don't know about nobody else, but once you lie to me about something little, you know what I got to do. Now, for now on, anything you say, even if I don't think you lying, I'm going to search it out for myself. That's how we got to be. And I mean, really, maybe, maybe to me, that's how I come up with the things I think about. You're not just gonna keep lying to me. You're not gonna lie to me like I said, some people might see this on playback or anything and be like, "Oh shoot, bro, what you mean black people ain't Judah? We came on slave ships." You do your history, and I'm like, "Hey, no, hold up, okay. So how do we know we Judah if all of Israel is put on slave ships? Explain to me." Well, the apple could have came from that we are came from that we are the most high apple of his eye. Con. Oh shoot. 88 Soul said they say God is a control freak, but he gave us free will and humans keep choosing evil, but yet we still have free will. Con. I mean, you that's like that new atheism stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why a lot of people go to atheism because like, oh, I don't understand why God would do this, and he just want to control everybody, but he gave us the free will. So why is you can't it's like they try so hard to make the Most High look like he crazy or something. You see what I'm saying? Like like he can't control his feelings or something, and that's almost like what they trying to do to the average Israelite man right there anyway. Make it seem like he can't control his feelings, but you know what I'm saying? Because we supposed to be the image of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So whatever they do, whatever they try to put on the Most High, they try to do to us in the first place. That's like I said, that's just me. That's my impelling idea on it. Psalm 17:8. Leon said, A says, keep me as the apple of the eye, hide me under the shadow of thy wings. Ooh, Khan. I see where you trying to get at. Just spew it out, because I think I know where you trying to get at, but that's your pivotal topic. I low key. Oh shoot, here we go again. Y'all crazy. Yeah, I did. But you know what? Back to this though. Like, you know what? Maybe you know maybe that fruit was symbolic for turning your eye to sin, turning your eye to what the Most High told you not to do, or showed you what to do. See, it's easier to do what the Most High don't tell you to do, and then you wind up doing what the Most High don't want you to do. You see what I'm saying? And that's sin. That's transgression of the law. But if you just do what he say do, then how you gonna sin? If he tell you don't look this way, don't you bet not even think about looking at that tree to even mess around with it. Why would you look that way? That I mean, if we don't learn our lesson from Eve, hey, look at Lot's wife. And nope, I ain't finna go there, but you know, y'all brothers know. What if it was an extremely colorful fruit that shine when you look at it? Don't look at it. Why would you look at it if you know the Most High said don't? Yeah, interesting script. No, you know I gotta hit the road. Low key, I do. You already know I would. Know what I got in store. But yeah, hold up. Boom. He said evil staring. If the scripts were translated from a different language, how sure are we that it's the apple of his eye and not Pete? Oh shoot. I'm done with y'all. Hey, I love y'all, family. I love y'all, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. I know it's been a minute since I've been, well, not really. I was just live last, Friday or something. But yeah, I pray the Most High blesses y'all and keep y'all in perfect peace. This is your brother, his will, for real this time, with an impelling idea. And go back and watch this if you didn't watch it from the beginning. Shalom.